welcome to episode 4 of our podcast. I'm Alex, one half of the Sober Experiment.
And I'm Lisa, the other half of the Sober Experiment.
So today we're talking about our first 30 days of sobriety. But first, oh my God, what a month.
We've had such a hectic month. It's been amazing. It started off with the Be Sober Manchester meetup with Sober Girl Society, which was just fantastic. We got to meet Millie, the founder of Sober Girl Society, which then resulted in Millie agreeing to do a podcast with us, which we recorded the other day, and I can't wait to get it out.
And then I got like all brave and just started messaging loads of authors and people. I even thought I might get Fern Cotton on. That's not happened. But I did actually message her. Lisa told me to calm down. But we've got so many big names coming up in the sober world. So many big names coming on, haven't we?
Oh, we have. It's giving me anxiety. I can't wait. But I get so nervous about these things, Alex. I don't know what you're doing to me. So, yeah, we've got... we're actually doing a podcast with Annie Grace.
Yeah, that's later on this month. As long as she shows it, because if we can contain ourselves and not laugh like a pair of morons like we do on our own.
Yeah, she might be like, yeah, that was great, thanks, girls. Delete.
Oh dear. We've got William Porter coming on, so the author of Alcohol Explained, and he's about to release a second book, so he's coming on. Who else? Claire Pooley.
Claire Pooley. That's...
Lisa's got a girl crush on her.
I think I'm just going to spend the whole time just... like, yeah, girl, I just think she's amazing. It was my favourite book, that. So, yeah, I can't wait for that one. Who else have we got?
Rotterdam, Mrs. D is going without.
My mum is so excited about that. She, honestly, when I told her, she couldn't believe it, Alex. She was like, will you mention my name? Will you tell her that I liked it so then I can be, like, podcast famous too?
Simon Chappell, who is the founder of Be Sober, not Be Sober Manchester, but the group Be Sober. And he's also written and released a book, which Lisa finds really funny because I always describe it as yellow, but it is called The Sober Survival Guide, and it's fantastic. I've read it cover to cover, and it really is useful. So get looking at that one if you can. What else? Anything else?
I don't think there is anything else.
Oh, we did the networking event. We did the networking event.
We did do the networking event.
That was quite funny.
Well, apart from the first thing that we got asked was to put our business card in to win a bottle of champagne and the beer that was made out of Kellogg's cereal for sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, it was really successful.
It was like, do you know, I did a bit of reading on that afterwards, and it was leftover cereal. So what they're trying to claim is, and it was like, it's Kellogg's, isn't it? Rice Krispies. That anything left over won't go to waste because, you know what, we'll make a beer out of it and everybody can get pissed with the breakfast.
You know, that's what I think, though. I think it's all right making the beer however they make it, but the fact that it's advertised with breakfast cereal makes me think, like... It just makes you think that it's all right to drink at breakfast time. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, well, I know people who do, so... And I don't mean that in a horrible way, you know. I know people who do drink with the breakfast even now, so maybe it'll suit them. No, I'm only joking. Right, okay, I'm not joking about knowing people, though, you know? I'm just joking about it being okay. Right. Also, huge news for us. We have been accepted by NACOA as kind of, what's it called? Like, not sponsors. What's it called?
Fundraisers.
Well, we're fundraisers for their charity now. So if and when we make like money on anything, the badges, any of our merchandise, 10% of everything that we make, we're going to donate to them. And we're going to be doing a fundraiser at some point to raise money for them.
We are, because it is a charity that's quite close to our hearts as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you don't know what they are, they support children of... They say alcoholics and alcohol-dependent parents, don't they? But right into adulthood as well. So they're not just looking at the children, they're looking at those that are living with the after effects of it. So, yeah, loads of news. We've been busy bees.
We have been.
Stop laughing.
We have been busy bees.
So, yeah, right, we'll get on with today. So, Lisa, start. First 30 days.
So, the first 30 days, I'm not sure what I expected when I quit drinking, to be honest. All I knew was that it wasn't working for me anymore, what I was doing, and I just knew I had to do something different. So I guess in the first 30 days, I kind of expected quite a bit out of it. I expected weight loss. expected.
Yeah, all right.
Which never happened. I kind of expected to have a bit of a clearer mind, no more anxiety and shame-filled mornings. That was something that I was like quite looking forward to. But I just didn't have a clue what to expect, because living life without alcohol, especially at the weekends for me, was just a completely new experience. I'd never done a dry January. I had abstained in all my pregnancies and done sober October, which seemed like forever and ever. But that was just kind of temporary things. And I think you can kind of do anything temporary. And when I decided to stop drinking, I straight away said, I'm going to do 100 days.
Yeah. I remember you saying it. I remember you phoning me to tell me.
Yeah.
You know what? I said on a previous podcast, I was jealous. What I actually thought was, right, you boring cow.
I think you might have said that as well.
Supportive BFF here.
Yeah. But you know what? I remember saying, because I'd felt so rough and so anxious, that I thought, right, that's it. I'm doing 100 days. I've heard about it. That is me doing it. But then when I started to feel a little bit better and my hangover had gone, I was like, shit, I've told everybody I'm doing 100 days.
Did you put it on your social media?
Yeah, straight away. I was in bed. I was rough. I couldn't even see. And I think I'd done a status like, I'm doing a 100-day challenge. And it just, yeah. So I knew if I put it on social media that then I would have to do it, because I'm stubborn, you see. And, I don't go back on my words. So I knew I was doing 100 days. So yeah, when I felt better, I was like, oh my God, 100 days. Then I remembered that I had holidays booked. So I was like, oh no, I've got to go to Canada. And I've booked Cyprus with my youngest daughter, Olivia. So I thought, how am I going to do these things sober? Because normally as well, when the shit kind of hits the fan, the first thing I used to do was find a drinking buddy and I would drain my sorrows in Prosecco. It's just what I did. I'd fool myself into believing that it made everything all right. I'd go out at weekends doing shots, buying cocktails that I couldn't afford. I'd wake up, I'd hate myself for what I might have said and what I might have done. You know the script.
No, you definitely did.
Do you know what I mean? You do. But even in my first 30 days, I actually found myself cringing at the old me already.
Really?
Yeah,
soon?
I know some people have really struggled in the 30 days, but I'm going to be dead honest. I loved it. I was literally just loving the first 30 days. And I really liked the new me. Straight away, within 10 days, I was like, I like this person. So I was flying on a pink fluffy cloud really early on, to be honest, Alex. I felt more equipped to deal with things. I felt more confident in decisions that I was making. I knew I was doing the right thing. I was going through a lot when I stopped drinking with the kids at that time.
Yeah.
They were being very rebellious. I won't go into too much detail about that, but they was being rather. But I did feel more equipped to deal with things like that and handle it a lot better.
Did you recognise that straight away as well? That, oh, you know what? This is because I'm not drinking. Do you think you recognise that, or do you think...
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I really did. Like, definitely I did.
You know, like these 30-day challenges, I mean, we're advocates of them as well.
Yeah.
Because we always think if somebody joins in for 30 days, they can start to see the benefits. And you've just said it then, you found the first 30 days easy. I found it easy, comparatively speaking, to the next 30 days. So like 31, 60, I found the hardest when I set up the challenge to do 100 days for myself. So it's got me thinking that maybe these 30-day challenges aren't really enough, because, and I don't mean that, you know, I'm not trying to undermine anybody who's given them a go, because I think it's brilliant and I'm really not taking that away. But it's got me thinking, is it enough to actually experience life beyond alcohol? Is it really enough? Or do you think we need to push ourselves to that 90-day point where you're not going on the roller coaster?
I think absolutely. I really do. I think when you look at 30 days, a lot of people do dry January. A lot of people do sober October. And it's kind of there. I found that when I did them things, I was using willpower. So for that month, you know, you'd rally a few friends to do it with you. So you kind of would all mourn about how boring and long that month was together, and that you couldn't wait to get to the end of it to have a drink.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go in for a longer period of time, you get to experience a lot more in that time.
I think it's like pregnancy for me, that, and I touched on this last time. I think I did more than touch on it. I think I waffled on it. But pregnancy for me, it was never an option to drink when I was pregnant. So it just, the desire wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you when you do longer and you actually change your mindset, you realise you can overcome the addictive substance, don't you?
Yeah.
That does not happen in 30 days. It definitely doesn't.
I don't think it does.
No.
I really don't. But I did find it quite easy compared to like some people that I've heard talk about it where they have found it really difficult. I think a lot is mindset.
It is.
And I threw myself into it like I do with anything. You know, if I like something, that's me. I'm all or nothing. I was like that with drinking. I was like that with everything I've done.
Yeah.
So it was only natural for me to kind of throw myself fully into sober life for that 100 days.
Yeah.
So I did find it quite easy compared to some people. And I just loved it. I went on Facebook and Instagram and I found all these sober accounts. I read and read and read. Like within that first 60 days at least, I'd read Annie Grace's Naked Mind, The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober, The Sober Diaries, and one of my favourites that I actually don't speak about enough was Alan Carr's Easy Way for Women to Stop Drinking. I really, really enjoyed that, and I'd used Alan Carr previously to stop smoking.
Yeah.
Like years and years ago. So I kind of really liked his method. I think it's very similar to Annie Grace's.
I'll give him a call.
Oh,
Get him on.
No, please don't. Oh, no, you can't. I think he's dead.
Right, well, if he is, then I'll get someone in his family on. Oh, God.
Oh,
What is
that's
wrong with
awful.
me?
He does have a clinic in London, but I'm sure he's not there. I think he died.
Let's fast forward.
Yeah. So... But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I went on holiday with Olivia and I remember being really shocked at the airport. But everything, you know, going through all these first, I was shocked that one, that they sold coffee. Two, that people actually queued for coffee. Like, I'd never done that before. And I just remember spending more quality time. We played cards, we looked at the stars, we just did all these like amazing things together, and I felt so present and close to my kids, like more than I had done for a very long time. I just felt instantly that I had more time for them.
So at what point do you think you thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this for good, I'm not doing it for 100 days? To yourself, maybe you didn't announce it, but what point?
I think really early on. Like...
Within that 30 days?
I think within that 30 days, yeah. Because I just knew I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't think I could do it, and there was no way. All the way through to the 100 days, I just told people it was a challenge. But I think within that first 30 days, I thought, I don't want to do this, and I'm going to really see if I can do it forever. And yeah, I just, like I said, I just didn't want to be the person I was anymore. It was affecting everything and I didn't like it. But I remember being scared. I couldn't imagine a life without drinking. It's because it's all I'd ever done.
Yeah.
I was scared to tell people because, like you said, and I know we were laughing, but I was like, right, I'm going to do 100 days. And in the back of your thoughts, she was like, oh, boring.
I would have said it to you because I would have said it joking to you but meaning it to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd have gone to you,
definitely.
my God, that's boring, Lisa. And I'd have actually been thinking it, but then I'd have gone, no, I'm only joking. I'm really proud of you. I wouldn't have been proud of you because I'd have been really pissed off that I didn't have anyone to go and down shots with in town.
I know, and I think that's it. I was so frightened that the people, especially the people close to me, like you and like my mum, would just be... I remember my mum saying, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but I remember somebody that we know was doing an alcohol-free challenge.
Yeah.
And my mum was a little bit like, oh, really? Do we have to hear about it? So I was kind of really frightened to tell her that I'd stopped drinking because her reaction, and she will say it because now she's sober, it was scary for her too, and she couldn't imagine a life without drinking. She obviously had her own anxieties about it, that she might have been drinking a little bit more than she wanted to. So by me stopping, I just then highlighted all that.
But you weren't unfair, were you? You didn't go on about it. It was her own curiosity that got her interested in it, wasn't it?
Because we worked together, I was going into work and she could just see the massive shift in small, like my skin.
Yeah.
How awake I was. Like I was bouncing into work feeling fantastic, and she was still at that point kind of going, I'm just tired and I was like thinking, yeah, she was definitely on the wine last night.
But the thing, and we've said this before, even one glass makes you just tired. It's not, don't give you the typical hangover that you think, but just tired is hangover, isn't it?
Of course it is. And I didn't think sobriety would have such a huge effect on me, because I just drank at weekends and I wasn't an everyday drinker.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it that much in the week, if I'm honest. But what I never realised is I was living for the weekend. Every week I was living for the weekend. So I was really tired Monday, Tuesday. By Wednesday I'd be feeling a little bit better. Thursday I might partake in, a glass of wine or two. And then it was Saturday for me. That was it. I would go out and boom.
Straight after you finish your group, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Couldn't wait to do it. It just seems so bizarre to me now. But yeah, basically, I've got to be honest, I just found that it was really easy. That's it. I just didn't find it difficult at all in that time. I'm not saying that it is easy, and I know people have these, but for me personally, I found it, I just embraced it. I loved it. I enjoyed it.
I guess what we should address here is that for both of us, that will not have been the first time that we ever said we're not going to drink for a month. So we're only talking about here the time when you've actively gone, you know what, I'm never doing this again, and you've accepted that you need to stop. Yeah. So that's what made it easy for us. The mind shift the mindset shift.
Yeah.
Had already happened.
Yeah.
Some people don't experience that in the first 30 days.
No.
They're white knuckling it, as they say.
Yeah.
And then it comes later, which I think is why they find it so hard. Plus, some people are more physically addicted because, let's face it, we say it again, it's addictive.
It is addictive. I just think, for me personally, and what I would recommend to anybody stopping drinking, whether it be for 30 days, 60 days, whatever they choose to do, I think read, listen to audibles as much as possible, because like you said, it's the mindset. That's what it is, and that's what was different for me this time. I didn't feel like I was missing out. I'd found people that were doing the same thing really early on, and I think that's what massively helped to make it so easy for me. You didn't find it so easy though, Alex, did you? What was your experience?
It was yes and no with the easy for me. In terms of actually getting through 30 days, once I'd made my mind up to get through 30 days, I found that first 30 days relatively easy. But I'd never gone, I'm just doing it for 30 days. I'd watched you, as I've said before, and I thought, I want a bit of that. Yeah. I'm going to do 100 days. And I remember phoning you and you saying to me, stop thinking of this as a lifetime and you'll find it easier. Think of it as just getting to 100 days and then you won't want to go back.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's why I found it a bit easy, because I had the support from you. Plus, don't forget, my husband stopped with me.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the temptation around me. So I think day one was my most surprising, weirdly, because I woke up, it was a Monday morning, so I'd had the hangover on the Sunday, the dreaded hangover that we talk about. And then I'd woke up on the Monday morning, I had work, and the first thought in my head was, wine. Right, I swear to God, in my whole life, I had never woken up on a Monday morning and thought about wine or alcohol. Just never. Maybe if it was a bank holiday, I might have done. But not on a work day. Do you know what I mean? It just hadn't occurred to me. And I couldn't get my head round why all of a sudden I wanted wine on a Monday. And it was just simply me telling myself, you can't. And I wrote something down, right? This is what I wrote in my little notebook. It's Monday and I'm back to work, feel groggy and sluggish, probably the lingering hangover and my body trying to get back into ketosis, or I'm on the keto diet. I never, ever think about alcohol on a Monday. So why is it the first thing that I thought of when I woke up? It's because I've told myself that I can't. I get it. And thankfully, I am still determined never to drink again. So obviously there were ups and downs of that. But I think also I put myself through quite a bit of torture in that first month.
Yeah.
So about a week after I stopped drinking, I went to a wedding.
I remember that. I remember your phone call on the Monday, by the way, as well. But I do remember this wedding. Go on.
And, first of all, I felt like a massive sore thumb sticking out because, as you know, my friends and family, we're all well known for our ability to hold on to alcohol, and everybody was having a drink, everybody was having a good time. And I sat there and I kept looking at Sam and Sam kept looking at me and he kept just giving me that little reassuring nod, you're all right. And it took me ages to relax into it. But you know what? I've said that I've never sober danced, and I did dance at that. It was a bit awkward, and I felt like a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
And I only did it for maybe 30 seconds. But that wasn't about me. That was about me showing everybody in my family that actually, oh yeah, I can just have as much of a good time. But in honesty, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was too soon. I shouldn't have gone.
That's what I was just going to say. Within that 30 days, that's quite a big event to go to, isn't it?
And I wouldn't have missed it because, you know, it was my cousin and I'd not managed to get abroad to her actual wedding. And number one, I wanted to go for her. But number two, nobody would have understood. Yeah. I was already finding it challenging and they would have just thought it was me being selfish, not going. So I did it. And really, I just wasn't ready. Now, originally, I told myself that I was going to wait until after the wedding and after my holiday before I stopped. But as you know, that hangover just went right now. So I guess that was quite challenging for me. And the other thing that I did, which was really stupid, was I lingered in the wine aisle. I didn't need to go in the wine aisle in Tesco, but I went in the wine aisle, and I went in the wine aisle just to see if I could. You know, like, you know what I'm like.
I totally know what you mean.
I know, you know what I'm like. So I went down the wine aisle and I picked up a bottle of wine, and I had no intention of buying it, and I was going to myself in my head, you can't get me anymore. I promise you, I was talking to this bottle of wine, right, and then I was like, I know better. Look at you all sat on your shelf. Trying to tempt me. Well, you can. But what that did do was it spurred me on to go and try. And I'm not joking when I say I think I spent about 40 quid on non-alcoholic wines. I went into Tesco, I went into Sainsbury's, I went into Waitrose, I went into Marks and Spencer's, and I bought every single bottle of red wine. And I swear to God, non-alcoholic, I took a sip out of each one, decided they were just like rancid, and tipped them down the sink. And in a way, it was a good bad thing because it sort of stopped me craving for that replacement, because I just thought, well, there isn't one. There isn't one for me.
If you look,
not red. Yeah. I've not found a good red. If you're a Prosecco drinker, like when we went to that social,
that was lovely
with Millie. That Prosecco, what was it called? Naughty, as in NOUGHTY. That was really good, and I don't know whether that's just because it's been so long since I've had that, or whether it genuinely was a good replacement. But I've not found a red wine, and now I've not tried. I just drink tea.
I think
not water, because I'm not fun. I do drink water.
Do you think though? I know we're going to talk again on another podcast about alcohol-free drinks and stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit late.
But wine, I just can't bring myself to try the non-alcoholic version.
Well, don't bother, the rubbish.
I've tried like the Prosecco and things like that, and the alcohol-free gin and tonics, and I love now and again an alcohol-free beer. I really enjoy that. But wine is just, for me, a step too far. I don't know why.
I think it's because it just looks so much like it, and then you pour it out and it's shit.
It is, yeah.
You're like, what's the point? That wedding though, I did take with me a little bottle of the Prosecco, which you recommended. I did, and I phoned them up and had a really lengthy chat with the woman who, she was lovely, but she proceeded to tell me how she didn't need to stop drinking. And I was like, well, yeah, but I just want to know if I can bring my Prosecco with me, please. I never ended up having it. I just had a couple of non-alcoholic beers and I left that there, to be honest with you. Do you remember, so I read all the books that you'd recommended, didn't I? Plus, I read Alcohol Explained, William Porter.
Yes, you did.
Which you hadn't read at that point. Do you remember me phoning you up going, oh, you'll never guess what I found out? Do you know that alcohol does this? And you were like, yeah, fucking been there and done that. Will you just get on with it? I'm on universe stuff now. Do you remember
you used to ring me every week, Lisa, have you read this book? And I'd be like, no, I've not read that. I'm kind of reading something else now. And you're like, no, you've got to read this.
Listen, I'm on day 300, love. But I was obsessed, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I read, and I think, you know, same typical things, that like looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, oh, my skin looks better. Not that I ever thought it was bad. What I did get was that red flush when I drank.
Yeah.
And I was terrified of getting the red broken veins in my face, because I could see that never used to happen to me. And because I was now drinking more to get pissed quicker or to get to the same point, I was getting really red face, which I didn't like. I think something else which bothered me is, and you'll remember this because again it was something I phoned you about everything. I'm surprised you don't live with me.
I feel like I do.
Yeah. Do you not remember me saying all the time? And it's especially in the first 30 days, but it has carried on, that I was thinking about dying every night.
Yes, I do, actually.
And it was like awful in that first 30 days. I'd lie in bed awake for ages, and then I had to wake my husband up and I'd go, Sam, I'm scared. And he'd go, for fuck's sake, what are you scared about now? It was supportive, but I think by this point he was just sick of it.
Do you remember how unuseful I was? Because you'd be like, Lisa, I'm scared of dying. Well, we're all going to die, Alex. We're all going to die. You might as well get used to the idea.
And I'm there and I'm like, but I don't want to. And you're like, well, it might not be now. It could be, though. You was like, shut up.
But it's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, death's amazing. I'm like, how do you know I've been? No, I haven't. So yeah, I think you know, pretty much the same as you in that respect. But I guess other things. I remember having massive arguments with my inner wine, who I named Big Al, which he thought was hilarious. Really like verbal ones as well, saying, "Will you just go away? Leave me alone. Stop telling me I can just have one. I clearly can. I threw a sandwich at my husband's head." Oh, and that, you know, that memory thing as well. Right, so this is another thing, and I know you've experienced this, that first 30 days, you just become like a major, like, scatterbrain.
No, I agree. I think you hear from people saying how they get all this clarity, and in that first 30 days, definitely not. Like, I was so forgetful about everything, just day-to-day things. I was forgetting things.
No, I was the same, and I think that's quite scary then, because what happens is after the first 30 days, I don't know exactly when, but all of a sudden you become an elephant in terms of your memory, don't you? And everything's coming back. So yesterday, right, I was having this flashback. You know, I've always said, I was never that bad when I was younger. It's just got, well, I was. Because when I was 21 and I got married first time, I have just remembered that I was sat on the dance floor at the end of the night, and I know you came to, but you'd have gone by then because you had you had your baby, didn't you, that time? Who's now what, 22?
21.
21.
Yeah.
I should know that, she's my goddaughter. But I do know that. But yeah, I was at my wedding, in my wedding dress, which was a big wedding dress, sat on the dance floor at the end of the night with a bottle of white wine, half drunk, out of the bottle, right? And the song You'll Never Walk Alone was my last song requested, and I don't know why I had it, but I loved it. And I was sat on the floor, and I swear to God, I thought it was hilarious. First I was crying, then I was singing into my bottle, and then I was drinking some, and then every time it said You'll Never Walk Alone, I was going, You'll never walk again. Laughing my head off, thinking I was like Miss Comedienne, you know, like, I ended up being dragged on all fours to bed in my wedding dress.
Sounds and I woke like a perfect wedding night.
I woke up, right, in the morning, and the room was lovely. And I actually said to him, I'm surprised he didn't divorce me that day. And I actually looked around and I went, oh, this room's nice. And he was like, yeah, not that you'd remember anything about it. There's your wedding dress, and it was in a heap. And you know how lovely he was. He wasn't like a horrible person, was it? He was so understanding. I got a lift off him, obviously, in the passenger side. He'd not drunk anywhere near as much as me, because unlike me, he wanted to remember his wedding day. And I ended up having to drive. It was my mum's birthday, with my head out the window the whole way. Guess what I was doing?
Being sick.
So, yeah, that was it, really. And you know what else as well? And I know I'm waffling now, but I think this is really important. I found something else out yesterday. So I suffered, and I know you did, from like irritability, anxiety, feeling tired. I didn't have better sleep at the beginning. It was actually a little bit worse for a while, mine.
Yeah.
I felt lethargic and a little bit sluggish in the first 30 days. And I just put that down to the fact that maybe I still had a hangover, but looking back, it was like 10 days later, so I don't think so.
You probably did, you know.
Maybe. And I found out yesterday, right, that, have you heard of PAWS?
Yes, I have.
So like post-acute withdrawal syndrome, and it happens when you come off drugs or alcohol. And I don't think scientists know too much about it, but I'm going to give it a go. And it's like your brain chemistry settling back down to normal. Do you know how long it can last for?
Go on.
Have a guess, I'm not going to tell you.
14 days.
No, 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, right? So you know when we see people on our group and on other groups saying, oh, I'm struggling, I'm at day 60, I have no idea why. And you know those days you get where you have 3 down days, you fall off your cloud. We always phone each other up going, I think I fell off my cloud. Right?
Yeah, we do.
But right, it is real. It's a real thing. But I'm really happy because like now I know I'm not a psychopath. Right? So when last week, I threw 2 plates on the floor and smashed them into little pieces for nothing. I really am not violent, but I sound so violent on these podcasts, right? And I threw them on the floor, smashed them into pieces, and I know it's just pause now.
You know what, Alex, saying that, I remember early on having an absolute angry meltdown over something. Like really shouting and being mad and, you know, like the kids were driving me mad, everything was going wrong and just absolutely having a meltdown. And then sitting there afterwards thinking, oh no, that's me. I can't even blame that on hangover, on drink. I'm a really bad person.
You've had pause, that's what it is.
There we go, I've had pause.
Yeah, so we're suffering from pause.
That's good to know.
It is good to know. I thought so as well. So at least the problem is with it becomes fewer and far between. So it can happen all of a sudden. It's just 2 or 3 days. And I think the best armoury for this is knowing it will pass, and it will pass after 2 or 3 days. And after 2 years, if you've still got it, you're a psycho.
Go and get help.
But it does explain things like me crying at the Poppy Man.
Oh.
So there was a man and he was giving out poppies on Remembrance Week. And yeah, I just started to cry in his face. I bet he thought, you weirdo. But it just made me so sad that he was like stood there after the war. And then Sam said to me, you do know that he's about 60 and he didn't live in any war. And I was like, yeah, but that's not the point. His mum might have been. And he's like, shut up.
Do you think, though, that you do become more sensitive?
No, really.
Oh, I think you do.
No, I think I've always been when I look back, when I look back, right, and I remember my dad saying to me when I was a little girl, oh, stop being so touchy. Touchy over here doesn't mean touchy. It's like touchy is insensitive.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, God. But it don't mean that you're touching everyone. It's like sensitive if you don't know. And I used to get really sensitive about everything. Like, not being that. But yeah, I think I've always been sensitive, but drinking.
Looking back, actually, you have, you know, when I was thinking, I was just
remember the breathing?
Yeah, when we was teenagers and you had like a massive.
That was just unnecessary, wasn't it? When I think back to that, you was just going, why are you doing it, you weirdo?
I think I probably was. I don't want to talk about it.
No, we're talking about it. So I've not got it anymore, but I had childhood asthma.
Yes, you did.
Lisa was on the bottom bunk bed and she was going, like making these stupid breathing noises. And I think I'm quite angry about this, aren't I? And I think I looked down and was like, why are you taking the mick out of my breathing and my asthma? Which it sounds ridiculous now.
Yeah, but I think I was.
Yeah, well, you're just
that's not. That's like not a nice thing to do, is it?
No, don't matter. You were probably pissed. You were only 10.
True story.
I don't think I knew you when you were 10. Yeah, and then do you know what happened to me the other day as well? And I know that we've got out of 30 days here, but this is just another example. Guess what I was crying at on the telly?
What?
Rocky 3. You know the bit where him and Apollo are running down the beach?
Oh, yes.
Right, I looked at them. Right, Sam was on one sofa and I was on the other. And I looked at them and I just thought in my head, look how young and vibrant they are. And look at them now. Like, I don't even know whether they're like, they are knocking around still, but I think at least one of them is.
Talking about this. Okay.
Sylvester Stallone definitely is. I'm not sure about the guy that plays Apollo, but they were running down the beach and I thought, look how young and vibrant they are. And I just went like this, they're old now. Honest to God, right? Sam just looked up from his laptop and he just went, oh my God. That's all he said. And I was just like, yeah, I used to cry at EastEnders and everything. So I think, no, I've always been sensitive.
I cry a lot. Not like just every day, but I mean at things like that. Like me and the kids went to see that new Christmas movie. and I really cried, like not a bit. I think I even nearly made a noise in the cinema. No, that's my laughing one.
Oh yeah.
But no, I was. It made me really sad, and I actually said to Olivia at the end, I was like, "Can we get up quick and go really quick? Because I don't want anyone to see me." Because I had all like mascara down my face.
But it isn't just crying, is it? Because get past that 30 days, or even in it, I have never laughed as much in my life. And again, I used to be a laugher when I was a kid, and people used to say, why can't you just get your breath and get your words out? You said it to me. And I'm back there, and it's just such an amazing feeling to be able to laugh with no inhibitions, apart from the fact that I nearly wet myself now that I've had 3 kids. But other than the fact that I now nearly wet myself, I don't have any inhibitions at all. I'm just laughing. I'll cry if I want to cry. I'll shout if I want to shout. I'll smash plates if I want to smash plates. It's just so liberating.
It is liberating. You know, when you say about laughing, I remember in my first 30 days, actually, looking back at my drinking days and thinking, oh my God, none of my laughs were like real, genuine laughs. So when I laugh now, I just feel that they're so much more authentic. Like, when we did our first podcast.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
We spent, 40 minutes before we pressed record, like crying, laughing.
We still do it.
And I know.
But you think we'd have got over it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and we don't, as soon as we press record, that's it, we both go. But to have that feeling, it's just so lovely and feels so genuine that, yeah, I love it.
Oh, well, we're not cuddling again, are we?
No, we are not.
So I think that's it really, and it's that. I think if people can just get through 30 days and then accept that, you know what, you're gonna fall off your cloud, you're gonna have down days, and yeah, sometimes it takes sheer strength to think I will not drink. But all you've got to do is not have a drink that day and you will carry on.
And it does pass. You said this before. Everything passes. Good feelings pass. Bad feelings pass. Cravings pass. If you can just do that and read. I can't express how much reading I think helps.
I agree. And you know what else I've done a lot of just before we finish?
It's being sick.
Oh no, I've not. Hey, you know what? My God, I've not vomited. I haven't been sick for ages. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God,
go on, what else have you done?
Brilliant. Oh wow, I sing all the time again, and I know that singing used to be my thing. I'd be in the shower, in the kitchen, and I don't know when it stopped or how it stopped, but I just know it did, and I only know it did because my son said to me the other day, "You're always singing, you nowadays, Mum," and I thought, yes, she's back.
Amazing. You know what I do? I don't know whether I want to say this.
Do it.
But I dance in the kitchen a lot. Me and the kids actually do stupid things together again. And they will say to me, we had a bit of a competition the other day, me and the kids, and we was like, who's the grumpiest, who's the sleepiest, who's the happiest? And I got nominated as the weirdest.
I think you are. You've always been weird, though.
I kind of took that as a compliment.
No, it is a compliment, but you've always been weird. You've always been a bit, your own person, and yeah, it's weird that we ever got sucked into being drinkers.
Yeah, I think it's so nice to kind of find ourselves again, find what makes us happy, what makes us tick. And I think when we go back to that 30 days again, something that I didn't mention, but I do think is quite important, is boredom.
Oh, yeah.
Like the weekends in the first 30 days seem to last forever and ever and ever. And I remember I bought myself an art set from Amazon. I even gift tagged it to myself. It said to Lisa, keep being awesome. Love Lisa.
Yeah, she doesn't love herself that much.
Nobody else was going to buy it. So yeah, I got it gift wrapped and everything. And I got this art set. And I've got...
Imagine pretending you've sent... Well, you had sent it yourself, hadn't you?
Yeah, and then, I was hoping that I'd forget and then it'd be a nice surprise at the door, but I got it on next day, so I remember.
Weird.
But yeah, I remember sat in my living room on a Saturday afternoon and getting, all these pastels out and drawing and just thinking, oh my God, there's still so many hours left in the day.
Yeah.
And I used to just waste them drinking, and being bored can be, for some people, and especially me, quite a scary place when you stop drinking, because what else do you do? if you don't have hobbies.
But you can't imagine now, after a period of time, and this is the other thing about it will pass, because I can't imagine being bored ever now.
No, me neither.
I'm not bored, because when I'm not doing anything, I'm reading, or I'm exercising, or I'm visiting you, or I'm phoning you just to tell you something stupid like, oh, read this. Yeah, been there.
Read this other sober book, it's amazing.
Done that. Also, while we're on sober books, I have to say that Sober Positive, I'm halfway through it, and it's Julia Carson.
Yes.
And it's incredible. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking of reading somebody's book, please pick Julia's up. And she's somebody else who's agreed to come on our podcast in the new year. Please try it, because it's just amazing. I can really relate to it.
Well, you said, didn't you, before, that if you'd read that earlier on,
yeah,
that you would have perhaps found things a lot easier.
Definitely. And I don't know whether it's just because I can relate to her, or whether it is genuinely brilliant, but it's genuinely brilliant as far as I'm concerned.
And you know what, I can speak on behalf. Julia's a member. She comes to some of the Be Sober Manchester meetups, and she is such a lovely, genuine person. I haven't read it yet, but I cannot wait.
No, it's
to
worth
read
it.
And I will read that one, Alex. Thanks.
You'll like it. And you'll learn things, and I'm not telling you what I know before you. Right, well, I think that's pretty much it for today. So next time, we have actually got a guest on, and it'll be our first guest, Rebecca Weath-Smith. And she's actually the editor of a magazine called Goldie Magazine. You'll find her on Instagram if you want to take a look. And she's talking with us about life after sobriety. So, yeah, it's been lovely. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.